So you want a traditional tasting curry, but then there's the price of the spices, and the price of the butter, and all the fats, and the milk, and the just... What if I told you could have a curry, say a butter chicken, for this price right here, per serving? That is but cheaper. So when you go to a restaurant, you're looking at getting a curry, it can end up being $10, $15, $20, $25. And that's because of all those spices, all those expensive sort of fats, whether it's coconut milk or heavy cream or lots of butter. You just need to condense it somehow. Simplify it while maximizing its flavor. So with all that said, let's make this, shall we?
Right, cheap curry, Josh, okay? Resist the truffles, resist the fancy spices. Okay, start off with a medium-sized bowl, add 1 cup or 240 grams of full-fat yogurt, then whisk in 1 tablespoon or 15 grams of garam masala and 1 tablespoon or 15 grams of kosher salt. Whisk that together till thoroughly combined, then separately get yourself 1.5 pounds or 680 grams of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Slice those into nice bite-sized pieces that are around 1 inch thick. As per usual, keep them even. Keep Papa happy. Simple concept. Toss all your chicken into its creamy bath, then mix that together till thoroughly coated. Give it a little sound check, lovingly. Then just cover that with plastic wrap and let that marinate for at least 30 minutes, but ideally overnight. Granted, you could skip the marinade entirely, but it makes a flavor difference. Okay, next up, get yourself a large deep pan like a brazier or a medium-sized pot. Heat 2 tablespoons or 30 grams of vegetable oil over medium-high heat. Once that's shimmering and hotter than my buttocks after sitting on a chair that doesn't really breathe very well, add your marinated chicken in batches to avoid overcrowding and sear for 2 to 3 minutes. Flip, should be nice and golden brown, maybe even lightly charred, and sear the other side for another 2 minutes. We just want color as fast as possible. You don't want to cook the chicken all the way through yet. Now once all of your chicken is beautifully browned, make sure the pan is clear, then hit it with a touch more oil, then lower your heat to medium and add 1 yellow onion that's been evenly diced, a 2-inch knob of ginger that's been finely diced, or more specifically, brunoise for the culinary hype beasts watching, and 6 cloves of sliced garlic. Season that to taste with kosher salt, fresh ground black pepper, then cook and stir, making sure to scrape the bottom, and if you have an especially thick fond like I did, that's the brown good stuck stuff on the bottom, you can add a small splash of water to loosen that. Now make sure to cook all that water off, then just saute your vegetables for about 3 minutes or until everything has been softened. Then add 2 teaspoons or 8 grams of smoked or regular paprika, 2 teaspoons or 9 grams of ground cumin, 1 tablespoon or 14 grams of garam masala, 1.5 teaspoons or 6 grams of turmeric powder, which is completely optional. Then stir that together and let those spices toast for about 1 to 2 minutes, or until intensely fragrant. Then add a 14-ounce can of good quality crushed tomatoes, swirl around 2/3 of a cup or 160 milliliters of water in that can, then dump it back into your pan, less wasteful and you need the water. Stir together until everything is evenly incorporated. Leave that on medium heat till it begins to simmer, then just let that simmer and reduce for 5 to 8 minutes or until the sauce has been reduced about 30% and is thickened. Optionally, you can use a hand blender to get it a little smoother, but believe it or not, I won't roast you if you don't use one. Now once that's nicely reduced, add your chicky back to the pan, distribute throughout the sauce, and let it simmer another 3 to 5 minutes or until the chicken is cooked through and hot. And look, you can totally use a lid to speed up that process. Now, last but not least, my favorite part. Pour in 1 cup or 240 milliliters of heavy cream.
Look at the creamy, streamy Papa like.
Then just stir all that together, bring it up to a light simmer, then reduce the heat to low and let it simmer for no more than about 3 to 4 minutes, stirring often. Then last but not least, turn off the heat and stir in 2 tablespoons or 28 grams of unsalted butter. Important note, continuously stir as that's melting so that it emulsifies properly into the sauce. Now give it a little taste, adjust salt levels if needed, and just look at this curry. Just one look at this curry, and you're gonna be saying, Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust. Now all you gotta do is get a nice shallow bowl, hit it with your desired amount of beautifully steamed rice, a generous portion of your curry, some additional sauce for good measure, and of course, some fresh cilantro leaves. All for this price per serving, right gosh darn here. Now let's taste test to see if its flavor is as luxurious as it looks.
Wow! Wow! And for this price right here. What? That's so good. Beautiful curry. It's thick, juicy, luscious, silky. I caught it. It's been blessed. Wow, this really actually doesn't taste any different than any of the other curries that I've made, which are all amazing for the record, but I pulled back on this more extravagant spices that I would normally use, but really, we ended up with a curry that is honestly just as flavorful and emphasizes the more simplistic aspect while saving money? Do you want to save money or not and have it be really yummy?
That hurts. I've made the chicken tikka masala a million times over. This just seems like an easier way to do it, and it's just as good. So if you like that, I think you'll like this.
Okay, you heard, well, this isn't about better.
You still won.
We still won the fight for yummy, 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 yeah. Woo! But cheaper, this price for a curry. Please enjoy.
You want to know what else is creamy, hot, and made for your mouth? B-roll.
Okay, so we made our but cheaper curry for this price right here per serving. That's per serving, folks. All right, a lot of people get mad about it. Oh, look at that. There you go. I have to go buy this.
Shut up.
I really think it has all those classic flavors that you expect in a curry, but obviously it's not as expensive and it's easy. You can put this thing together in like 15 minutes, not including the marinating time, but like, are you really gonna count me for that? Fine, skip the marinating and it takes 15 minutes. But anyway, the point is, that is a proper butt cheaper of a curry. And if you enjoyed this video or you learned something, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Papa very confused and tired. Papa take a nap. Okay, good night.